Your enemies are nothing more than shadows barking at the sun, loud in the dark, silent in your light. They feared your rise because they knew it would expose their smallness. Now they're stuck choking on the dust of your footsteps. Chosen ones, welcome back. Before we dive deeper, if you feel the power of this message, hit that like button and subscribe. This is your sanctuary, where we dismantle lies, lift the veil of truth, and celebrate the unstoppable force that you are. Let's talk about these so-called enemies. They're cowards hiding behind whispers, throwing stones they're too weak to carry. They thought they could tarnish your name, break your spirit, and strip you of your purpose. But here's the bitter pill they're choking on. You don't bend, you don't break, and you sure as hell don't fall under the weight of their envy. Their greatest nightmare has come to pass. You're thriving while they're still stuck in their pitiful games. These people are like brittle glass trying to stand against a storm. They underestimated you because they judged you by their standards. They didn't realize you were forged in fire, blessed by divine hands, and shielded by purpose. Now, their jealousy is eating them alive, and they're scurrying like rats in the shadows, hoping to scrape together the scraps of their pride. And let's be clear, they gossip, they slander, they throw lies like daggers, but their words are powerless. They don't understand that being chosen means you walk with divine protection. Every insult they hurl at you ricochets back with twice the force. Their hate is like trying to extinguish the sun with a cup of water, futile, pathetic, and laughable. Here's the thing about you, chosen one. You're not just a survivor, you're a conqueror. They thought they were setting traps, but all they did was dig graves for their own ambitions. They wanted you to fail, but every step you take is a reminder of their insignificance. And now, they're haunted by the silence you left them in, haunted by the fact that their schemes couldn't touch you. Let their gossip be their hymn of failure. Let their bitterness be the weight they carry. You have nothing to prove to the feeble-minded. Keep your head high, your vision clear, and your heart focused. Their opinions are dust. And you? You are a hurricane sweeping through their delusions. They wanted to bring you down, but instead, they built the platform for your greatness. The louder their envy screams, the harder your success echoes. You're chosen, and no amount of hate can rewrite your destiny. Keep moving forward, chosen one. You've already left them behind. And to you, yes, you, the unstoppable force, the chosen one, thank you for being here. Whether this is your first time or you've been rocking with us from the start, your energy drives this mission forward. If you're ready to shatter the noise, rise above the whispers, and stand unshaken in the face of envy, tap that like button, hit subscribe, and drop number 77 in the comments if you know their gossip is just the soundtrack to your greatness. And now, let's get into it, step by step. Stick around, because if you're truly chosen, you'll feel the pull to stay until the very end. Let's dive in. Number 1. When envy faces the unbreakable. When the mirror shows monsters, it's not the reflection that's to blame. It's the beast staring back. That's why they hate you, chosen one. You've made them see their own shadows. They came for you thinking they had the upper hand, believing their gossip, jealousy, and venomous words could cut you down. They imagined their cheap tricks and whispers would unravel you, but they underestimated something crucial. You are protected by a power they'll never comprehend. Every insult they hurled at you was like a boomerang. They threw it with force, but it circled back to hit them square in the face. Here's the truth they can't face. Every word they speak against you is rooted in their own insecurities. Every jab, every petty move, it's not about you. It never was. It's about what you represent to them. You are a reminder of everything they lack, everything they fear, and everything they wish they could be. You didn't crumble because your foundation wasn't built on the shaky ground of approval or validation. Their lives are like sandcastles at high tide, but you're a fortress, unshaken and immovable. You see, chosen ones don't just stand out, they stand tall. And when insecure people look up at you, the height of your power makes them dizzy. They lash out, thinking their words will bring you down, but they only dig their own graves deeper. Every word they spit only reveals how hollow they are inside. You, chosen one, have become their worst nightmare, a mirror that reflects all their inadequacies. And that's why they can't stop talking. They're obsessed with you. Not because you've done anything wrong, but because you've done everything right. You silence them without even lifting a finger. Your very presence is a rebuke to their small-mindedness. When they gossip, it's a confession, not of your flaws, but of their own. It's their way of screaming, "Look at me. I can't handle the greatness I see in you." But let's address the questions lingering in your mind. Why does their hate feel so relentless? Why does their envy burn so brightly? It's because the power of being chosen isn't just a light. It's a fire that reveals, purifies, and consumes everything that isn't real. And for people built on lies and ego, your fire is unbearable. It forces them to confront the truth they've been running from their whole lives. You may wonder if they'll ever stop. The answer? They'll stop when their bitterness consumes them completely. Until then, let their envy be the soundtrack to your rise. They think their words can hurt you, but all they're doing is fueling your fire. Every insult is just more proof of how much you've shaken them. Every whisper behind your back is an acknowledgement of how far ahead of them you are. Chosen one, your power doesn't come from their approval, their acceptance, or their validation. It comes from within, from the divine hand that placed you on this path. That's why no amount of gossip, hate, or sabotage can touch you. You are walking in purpose, and nothing can stand against a soul aligned with destiny. They thought they could break you, but all they did was reveal how unbreakable you are. Remember this: a tree that bears fruit will always be the target of stones, but the stones never stop the tree from growing. They only prove its value. So let them throw their stones. Let them gossip. Let them stew in their envy. You are not here to fight their small battles. You're here to conquer mountains, to blaze trails, and to stand tall as a testament to what divine favor looks like. You didn't shut them down with words. You silenced them with your presence, your power, and your persistence. That's why they're scrambling now, trying to piece together some story that makes sense of why they couldn't touch you. They can't admit that the very thing they hate about you is the thing they wish they could have: your strength, your clarity, and your divine protection. Every time they speak your name, they're reminding the world of your greatness. Every time they hate, they're feeding the very fire that keeps you rising. Let their bitterness fuel your purpose. You've already won, chosen one. You're not just surviving, you're thriving, and that's the ultimate revenge. Number 2. The weakness behind the noise. Their hate is a cry for help. They call it hate, but it's nothing more than fear wrapped in bitterness. They throw stones not because they're strong, but because they're terrified of your power. Chosen one, let's pull back the curtain on this so-called hate. They want you to believe their words have weight, that their whispers hold power, but the truth is far simpler and uglier. Hate isn't a weapon, it's a shield for their insecurities. They're not attacking you because you've done something wrong. No, their venom is a reaction to what you've done right. Your success, your light, your unshakable presence. It burns them, exposing everything they lack. When they huddle together, feeding off each other's envy, they convince themselves they're controlling the narrative, spreading lies, throwing shade, gossiping in shadows. It makes them feel powerful, if only for a moment. But deep down, they know the truth. Their hate doesn't touch you. It's powerless, weightless, and ultimately, it's their undoing. Every word they spit in your direction is like a boomerang. They think it's coming for you, but it circles right back to expose their own flaws. Ask yourself this: why do they focus so much energy on you? Why do they gather like vultures, obsessing over your every move? The answer is simple: they're stuck. You're not just a person to them, you're a mirror, a reflection of their missed opportunities, their wasted potential, and their inability to rise. You remind them of what they'll never be, and instead of facing that truth, they lash out. Hate, for them, is a distraction from the work they refuse to do on themselves. But here's the kicker: their hate is weak because it depends on your reaction to survive. They need you to respond, to stoop to their level, to acknowledge their noise. When you don't, it drives them mad. They scream louder, hoping you'll hear, but all they're really doing is exposing their desperation. It's like watching someone pound on a locked door they don't realize you've already walked away from. You've already won, chosen one. Your silence is louder than their screams. Your success is a constant reminder that their words are meaningless. Every time they see you thriving, unbothered and unbroken, it tears at them. They expected their gossip to weaken you, but instead, it's only revealed their own fragility. You don't need to fight them, because their hate is its own punishment. While they're stuck spinning in a cycle of negativity, you've moved forward, living the life they wish they had. They love to call themselves haters, but the truth is, they're admirers in disguise. They watch your every move, dissect your every choice, hoping to find cracks in your armor. But they don't understand that being chosen means you're not just protected, you're unstoppable. Your strength doesn't come from their validation. It comes from a source they'll never comprehend. That's why their hate feels so hollow. They can't reach you because you operate on a plane they can't even imagine. Their gossip, their envy, their bitterness, it's all just noise. A desperate attempt to stay relevant in a story where they were never the main character. And when you rise above it all, when you continue to walk in your purpose without looking back, it destroys them. They're left spinning in circles, trapped in their own negativity, while you soar to heights they can only dream of. Let their hate fuel you, chosen one. Let it remind you of how far you've come and how much farther you're destined to go. Their words are nothing more than the cries of people who've been left behind. They're stuck in the mud, throwing rocks at someone who's already climbed the mountain. That's the truth they can't handle, and it's why they'll never stop talking. But you don't have time to listen. You're too busy thriving, building, and living a life they'll never understand. Their hate is a sign of your power, not theirs. And no matter how loud they get, they can't touch the light that surrounds you. Keep rising, chosen one. Let them choke on the dust of your success. Their weakness is no match for your strength. Number 3. They wanted a fight, but you built the battlefield. They thought they could wage war on you, but they forgot one thing. You don't fight battles, you end them. Your silence was the sword they never saw coming, and now they're scrambling in the ruins of their own defeat. Chosen one, let's get real. When they came for you, they thought they were prepared. They armed themselves with their usual tricks, backhanded comments, gossip, negativity, and schemes designed to pull you into their shallow games. They expected you to take the bait, to stoop to their level, to wrestle with them in the mud. But they miscalculated. They didn't realize that you don't play their game, you create your own. You didn't engage because you never had to. Instead of firing back, you rewrote the rules entirely. While they were busy plotting, you were moving. While they were spreading rumors, you were stacking victories. They thought their noise would distract you, but all it did was highlight their desperation. And here's the truth they're too ashamed to admit. They were playing checkers, but you've always been playing chess. They never expected you to stay unbothered. Every insult they threw, every trap they set, every whisper behind your back, it all fell flat because you didn't even look their way. That's the kind of power they don't understand. They live for conflict, feeding on chaos like vultures circling a battlefield, but you gave them nothing. And without your attention, their attacks crumbled into nothingness. They were swinging at shadows, thinking they were landing blows. But the reality is, you were already 10 steps ahead, leaving them flailing in your dust. What they can't stand, what eats at them more than anything, is that you didn't need to fight to win. You didn't need to argue, defend yourself, or waste your time proving anything to anyone. Your focus was your weapon. You stayed locked in on your growth, your goals, your peace, and your divine purpose. That's what truly destroyed them. Not some flashy comeback, but the sheer force of your unshakable presence. They thought they had control, but they never even had a seat at your table. You were operating in an entirely different space, one they couldn't touch. While they were busy trying to drag you into their petty conflicts, you were building an empire. That's why they can't stop gossiping. They're haunted by the fact that you outsmarted them without even trying. Now, all they have left are their stories, their excuses, their desperate attempts to spin the narrative in their favor. But deep down, they know the truth. You didn't just win, you dismantled the game they thought they controlled. And now they're stuck, trapped in their bitterness, while you've moved on to bigger and better things. Let them stew in their frustration, chosen one. Let their envy remind you of how far you've come. They wanted war, but you refused to play by their rules. You're not just a player in their game, you're the one who rewrote the playbook. And now they're left chasing shadows, powerless to touch the light you carry. Keep moving forward. You've already left them behind. Number 4. Erased from the script. Their relevance was never real. The loudest cries come from the sidelines. Those who thought they mattered, but now realize they were never even part of the game. Your rise didn't just silence them, it erased them from the story altogether. Chosen one. Let's talk about what happens when you take back control. Once upon a time, these people believed they were essential to your story. They cast themselves as key players in your life, mistaking their noise for significance. But the moment you chose your path, your own truth, they became irrelevant. Their voices, once disruptive and persistent, faded into meaningless background noise. You didn't just shut them down, you erased their influence completely. Their biggest mistake was assuming they had power over you. They thrived on creating chaos, stirring drama, and feeding on the attention it brought them. But when you refused to engage, when you stopped giving them the energy they craved, it left them gasping for air. They didn't know how to exist without your focus, and that reality hit them like a brick wall. Think of it like this. They were trying to hold onto a stage that no longer exists. The spotlight they desperately clung to has burned out, and they're left performing for an audience that's no longer there. They keep gossiping, keep stirring, keep trying to insert themselves back into your narrative. But all they've done is highlight their own irrelevance. Their desperation reeks, and you've moved so far ahead that their antics feel like echoes from a life you've outgrown. By walking in your authenticity, by choosing self-worth over their chaos, You rewrote the entire script. Their negativity, their manipulations, their petty games, they hold no place in your story. You've made it clear. Your journey isn't a playground for their insecurities. And while they sit around scrambling for relevance, you're out here building something real, something untouchable. This is what they can't stand. The fact that you didn't just rise above, you removed their ability to matter. Their attempts to define you, control you, or drag you down have failed spectacularly, and it's left them scrambling, clutching at straws to stay in your orbit. But you're too busy soaring to even notice their noise. Here's the beauty of your power. You didn't have to fight them to win. You didn't need revenge, loud comebacks, or any acknowledgement at all. You won by walking away and thriving in their absence. That's the kind of strength they'll never understand, and it's why they can't stop talking. Their gossip is their last desperate attempt to stay relevant in a story that no longer includes them. You've moved on, chosen one. Their opinions, their hate, their drama, it's all meaningless now. They're stuck in the shadows of a past you've left behind, and every word they speak only makes their irrelevance more obvious. Keep shining, keep rising, and let their noise fade into the silence they created for themselves. You're writing a story where they never mattered, and that's the ultimate victory. Number 5. When the well runs dry, you starved their chaos and left them powerless. They feasted on your energy like parasites, but when you cut them off, they withered into shadows, desperate, hollow, and powerless without your light. Chosen one, let's expose the truth about these so-called energy vampires. They thrived on chaos, stirring up drama to feel alive in a world that overlooked them. Gossip, negativity, conflict. It was their lifeline, their twisted way of feeling important. They didn't care who they hurt as long as they could feed on the attention it brought. And for a while, they thought they were winning. They believed they had power over you because they could provoke a reaction. But then you did the one thing they never expected. You walked away. You rose above their games, cutting off their supply of energy and leaving them to starve in their own toxic cloud. You didn't play into their hands, and that simple act of silence shattered their illusion of control. They wanted you to fight, to argue, to keep feeding the fire, but you chose growth, peace, and purpose instead, and that was their undoing. Without you, their world began to collapse. Your light was the source of their relevance, and without it, they were forced to confront their own emptiness. Now, they scramble, gossiping like starving creatures, clawing for scraps of attention from anyone who will listen. Their drama no longer holds weight, and their desperate attempts to stay relevant only make them look smaller. Picture them now, flailing in the dark, trying to spark chaos where none exists. It's almost laughable how lost they are without you to anchor their bitterness. Their gossip has turned into hollow noise, a faint echo of the power they once thought they held over you. And the more they try to create drama, the more they expose the truth. They were never as strong as they pretended to be. Their so-called power was always borrowed, always dependent on you. What they fail to understand is this. True power isn't about stirring up chaos. It's about mastering your own energy. And that's exactly what you've done. By starving them of your attention, you've forced them to look inward, and they don't like what they see. Their insecurities are now laid bare, their desperation on full display. While they flounder, you've moved forward, fully nourished by your own authentic energy, thriving in a space they can no longer reach. Let them gossip. Let them scramble. Their noise is nothing more than the sound of their own insignificance echoing back at them. You've taken away the only currency they had, and now they're left with nothing but their own emptiness. Meanwhile, you're soaring higher than ever, fueled by the divine energy that surrounds you, unbothered by their attempts to pull you down. They thought they could drain you, but all they've done is exhaust themselves. You're untouchable, chosen one. And now they're just ghosts of their former selves, fading into the background of your unstoppable rise. Keep moving forward. They can't follow where you're headed. Number 6. The roar in your silence, a sound they can't ignore. They wanted a war, but you gave them a void, a silence so loud it echoed through their fragile egos. Their words fell like stones into an abyss, swallowed whole and forgotten. Chosen one, let's talk about the power of your silence. When they came for you with their petty schemes, they thought they were lighting a fire. They expected you to react, to lash out, to stoop to their level and play their game. But instead, you gave them nothing. Not a glance, not a word, not a second of your energy. And that nothing, it hit them harder than any response ever could. They underestimated you. They thought your strength was in your voice, your actions, your ability to fight back. What they didn't realize is that true strength lies in restraint. Your silence wasn't weakness. It was the loudest statement you could make. It told them, without a single word, that they were irrelevant to your journey. It showed them that their opinions, their lies, and their hate carried no weight in your world. And that's what crushed them. While they were busy plotting, gossiping, and trying to provoke you, you were busy thriving. You stayed focused on your goals, your growth, and your divine purpose. You didn't even look their way, and that's what broke them. People who live for drama can't survive without an audience. Your refusal to engage left them standing in their own shadow, choking on the emptiness of their own bitterness. Think about this. Silence isn't just the absence of words. It's a mirror. When you refuse to respond, you force them to face themselves. They're left questioning, doubting, unraveling, because the only sound they hear is the echo of their own insecurities. They thrive on reactions, but you starved them of the fuel they needed. Your silence became a weapon they never saw coming. They thought they could rattle you, but instead, they ended up shaking their own foundations. Your silence exposed them, magnifying their weakness and making their efforts look foolish. While they're spinning in circles, consumed by their own negativity, you've moved on, leaving them behind in the dust. And now, they're haunted by the fact that you're out there winning while they're stuck stewing in their failure. You flipped the script without even trying. By refusing to engage, you showed them that their words were meaningless. They can scream all they want, but the sound doesn't carry. It dies in the void of your indifference. That's the beauty of being chosen. You don't have to fight battles that aren't worth your time. Your energy is too precious for that. So let them talk, let them scheme, let them drown in their own noise. You've already silenced them where it matters most. In their minds. They'll never admit it, but your silence speaks volumes they can't ignore. Keep moving, chosen one. The sound of your success is all the response they'll ever need. Number 7. Too bright to dim. Your light exposed their shadows. They call it gossip, but it's really a cry for help. Your brilliance blinded them, not because you were too much, but because they were too small. Chosen one, let's speak the truth they can't admit. Your light, your energy, your undeniable presence. It wasn't just noticed, it was felt. People who've spent their entire lives hiding in shadows can't handle it when someone like you steps into the room and commands attention without trying. You didn't just shine, you illuminated everything they were too afraid to face about themselves. And that terrified them. They weren't ready for you. They weren't ready for someone who refused to shrink to fit their comfort zones. So, what did they do? They started talking, gossiping, spinning their little stories, hoping that if they threw enough shade, it would somehow dim your light. But here's what they'll never understand. Your light isn't something they can control. It comes from within, fueled by a purpose far greater than their opinions. Let's be real, their hate wasn't about you. It was about what you represented. Your confidence, your success, your unapologetic authenticity. It all shined a harsh light on their insecurities. You didn't make them feel small, they already were. Your presence was just a reminder of what they lacked: courage, self-awareness, and the willingness to rise above mediocrity. And instead of stepping up, they chose the easy way out, throwing stones from the shadows. They thought their gossip could rewrite your story, that their words could shift how others see you, or worse, how you see yourself. But they miscalculated. You didn't need their approval to shine. You were never playing their game to begin with. While they wasted their energy trying to tear you down, you kept rising, unbothered and unstoppable. And that's what truly ate at them. Your success, chosen one, is a beacon they couldn't ignore. Every step you took forward exposed their stagnation. Every win you claimed reminded them of the chances they were too scared to take. Your light wasn't just blinding, it burned away their illusions. And instead of leveling up, they hid behind their words, hoping that if they talked enough, it would drown out the sound of their own failure. But here's the truth they'll never admit. Their words hold no weight. Their gossip is nothing more than empty noise, a desperate attempt to make sense of a power they'll never possess. Your light didn't just blind them, it revealed them. It forced them to confront the fact that their comfort zone is their cage, and you, chosen one, are the proof that freedom is possible. That's why they hated you. You didn't conform, and you didn't care what they thought. So keep shining. Let their whispers fade into the background. You don't need to dim your light for anyone. The ones who can't handle it will stay in the shadows, and the ones meant to rise will join you in the glow. Their hate is proof of your impact, and their darkness only makes your brilliance stand out even more. Keep moving forward, chosen one. Their words are powerless in the face of your light. Number 8. The mask of hate. Fear dressed in desperation. They cloak their fear in hatred, but every jab, every lie, every rumor is nothing more than a trembling hand reaching out to stop the storm you've become. Chosen one, let's get real. What they call hate is nothing but fear wearing a mask. They whisper, they spread rumors, they throw shade, all to cover up the truth they're too ashamed to admit. They're afraid of you, terrified in fact, because your strength and authenticity are a spotlight exposing everything they lack. When you stood your ground, unshaken, unbroken, they didn't know what to do. They expected you to crumble, to falter under their attacks, but instead you became the reflection of their own powerlessness. You showed them a truth they can't unsee. Their words hold no weight in the presence of someone divinely protected. They thought their gossip could dim your light, but instead it became the very fuel that strengthened your fire. Every rumor, every insult, they were throwing stones at a mountain, hoping to make it fall. But mountains don't move for the wind, and neither do you. Their fear grows louder with every step you take, because they know they've lost the one thing they thought they had over you: control. Think about it. Why would they obsess over you if you weren't a threat? Why waste so much energy trying to drag you down? It's because your existence is a constant reminder of their insecurities. You are their reckoning, a force they can't silence or ignore, no matter how hard they try. But here's the truth they can't admit, not even to themselves. They're not fighting you. They're fighting their fear of what you represent. You are a symbol of power they'll never have, a light they can't extinguish, a strength they can't imitate. And that terrifies them. So they lash out, hoping their noise will drown out your progress. But all it does is reveal their desperation. Hate doesn't diminish you, it exposes them. The beauty of being chosen is this: you don't need to engage with their fear. You don't need to stoop to their level or defend yourself against their lies. Your power speaks louder than their words ever could, and that's why they're restless. They wanted you to stumble, but instead you soared. They hoped their rumors would hurt you, but instead they fueled your rise. Now they're stuck in the shadows, grappling with a reality they can't escape. You are untouchable. Every move you make, every victory you claim, is another reminder that their hate is powerless against your truth. They called it hate, but it was fear all along, and now it's eating them alive. So let them talk, let them scream, let them reveal their weakness for all to see. Your silence is louder than their noise, and your light blinds every corner where their fear tries to hide. Keep moving forward, chosen one. You've already left them behind. Number 9. Rewriting the script. They became nothing more than a footnote in your story. They wanted to make you the villain, but all they did was expose their desperation. While they scribbled lies in the margins, you wrote chapters of triumph they could never erase. Chosen one, let's get one thing straight. They never had the power to define you. They tried, of course. They cast you as the antagonist in their story, hoping to paint you as the obstacle in their path to happiness. But what they didn't realize is that you're not just another character in someone else's drama. You're the author of your own story. And when you took the pen back, you didn't just rewrite the narrative. You erased their influence entirely. Their attempts to vilify you were never about who you are, but about what they needed to believe. In their small, insecure world, making you the villain gave them an excuse for their own failures. It gave them something to blame when their dreams didn't materialize and their efforts fell flat. But the moment you refused to play the role they assigned you, the entire script fell apart. You didn't just walk away, you rose above. You turned their gossip, their lies, and their shallow attempts to tear you down into the fuel for your ascent. While they were busy trying to drag your name through the mud, you were building a life so extraordinary that their noise became irrelevant. Their words are nothing more than echoes, fading into the background as you march forward with purpose. Now, let's be honest. They hate the fact that you flipped the script. They hate that you've relegated them to minor characters in a story that isn't about them. You've turned them into footnotes, barely worth mentioning, while your chapters are filled with resilience, growth, and unstoppable success. They wanted to be the main act, but now they're nothing more than background noise in a story too grand for their small minds to comprehend. Here's the truth. Their attempts to undermine you only highlight their irrelevance. They're clinging to the scraps of a narrative that no longer exists. Their gossip is a desperate cry for attention, a feeble attempt to convince themselves that they still matter in your life. But the joke is on them. You've moved on to bigger plots, deeper themes, and greater victories. They're stuck replaying old scenes while you're out here creating something extraordinary. You've shown them that their words, their schemes, their envy, it all falls flat in the face of your brilliance. They tried to dim your light, but all they did was illuminate their own smallness. You've taken control of your destiny, and they've been left behind, choking on the dust of your progress. So let them watch. chosen one. Let them see what true power looks like. You've outgrown their drama, their lies, and their weak attempts to hold you back. You're the hero of this story, and they're just ghosts of a narrative that never had the power to define you. Keep writing, keep thriving, and let their irrelevance speak for itself. Number 10. The disruption. They couldn't handle. Authenticity shatters illusions. Your truth isn't just a light, it's a wildfire. It burns away their masks and exposes everything they've tried to hide. That's why they fear you. Chosen one, the moment you chose authenticity, you signed up for a battle you didn't even know existed. You didn't walk into their world to start a war, but your mere presence became a threat to everything they've built. Their fragile ecosystem, made of fake smiles, hollow connections, and shallow pretenses, couldn't handle the weight of your realness. They lived comfortably in their illusions, where everyone followed the script. Don't rock the boat, don't show too much, and definitely don't question the status quo. But you didn't just rock the boat, you flipped it over without even trying. Your authenticity disrupted their fake harmony, and that's when the masks started to crack. They couldn't stand the way you moved, unapologetically yourself, refusing to shrink to fit their mold. Authenticity is a rare and dangerous thing in a world addicted to pretense. It shines so brightly that it exposes the shadows, and for them, that was unbearable. Your confidence became a mirror, showing them how small and insecure their carefully constructed personas really were. But instead of respecting you, they took the easy way out. They resorted to gossip, their go-to weapon for weak minds. It's sneaky, destructive, and lets them tear you down without having to face their own shortcomings. They painted you as the odd one out, the rebel, the problem. But here's what they failed to realize. Gossip has no power over someone rooted in their truth. Every rumor they spread, every whisper they exchanged, only proved one thing: you shook them. They didn't know how to handle someone who didn't need their approval to exist. While they were scrambling to discredit you, all they really did was expose how threatened they were by your strength. Your authenticity revealed the cracks in their world, and now they can't unsee it. Here's the price of being real in a world full of illusions. You will scare people who aren't ready to face themselves. Your truth is a challenge to their lies, a light they can't dim, no matter how much they try. They hate you because you remind them of everything they'll never have the courage to be. But chosen one, let their hate be a sign of your power. You don't need to fight back or lower yourself to their level. Simply by existing, you've already won. Their gossip is just noise, their envy a sign of their weakness. You're unshakable. Your authenticity isn't just your power, it's their undoing. Keep walking in your truth, chosen one. Let them choke on the lies they tell to comfort themselves. You don't belong in their fake world because you were born to stand apart. Your realness will always outshine their illusions, no matter how hard they try to cover it up. Number 11. Desperate whispers, the empty echo of their last stand. The loudest cries often come from the weakest hearts. Their words are nothing but the final gasp of a defeated spirit, scrambling to matter in a world where you've already left them behind. Chosen one, let's talk about the pathetic spectacle of their desperation. They've thrown everything they had at you: rumors, insults, and feeble attempts to undermine your confidence. Yet, here you are, standing tall, unbothered, and stronger than ever. You are their unsolvable problem, their nightmare in living color. They've realized they can't break you, they can't outshine you, and they can't stop you. And now, all they have left is their tired, hollow whispers. Gossip has become their final weapon, the last rusty blade in a toolbox that's been emptied of anything effective. They gather in their little corners, spinning half-truths and petty lies, hoping someone, anyone, will listen. But here's the truth they can't escape. Their words no longer carry weight. Their whispers have turned into static, drowning in the undeniable sound of your success. Every time they speak your name, they reveal more about themselves than they do about you. Their gossip is a mirror reflecting their fear, their insecurity, and their deep-rooted frustration. They aren't lashing out because of who you are. They're lashing out because of who they'll never be. You are everything they lack: strength, purpose, and divine protection. And every time they try to tarnish your image, they only highlight their own inadequacies. It's almost laughable, isn't it? They think they're controlling the narrative, but their voices are fading into irrelevance. With every success you achieve, every milestone you conquer, their efforts become more pitiful. They're like fading echoes in a canyon, growing weaker and weaker as you rise higher and higher. People can see through them now. What once sounded like sharp criticism now sounds like desperate noise, a cry for attention from those who can't accept your light. And that's the reality, chosen one. Their whispers are nothing but a desperate cry for relevance in a world that's left them behind. They're shouting into a void, hoping to be heard, while you're too busy thriving to even notice. Their attempts to stir the pot have only exposed their bitterness, their jealousy, and their inability to keep up. The very gossip they hoped would tear you down has become their undoing. They're digging their own graves with every word they speak. Meanwhile, you're building your legacy, untouched and unstoppable. Your success is their silence, and your rise is their defeat. Let them scramble, let them grasp at straws. You've already moved on, leaving them to drown in the emptiness of their own noise. Keep going, chosen one. Let their desperation be the soundtrack to your triumph. You don't need to respond. You don't need to engage. You've already won. Number 12. Above the noise, your light blinds their shadows. Their whispers are nothing more than a weak echo in the vastness of your purpose. They bark at the light because it reveals the darkness they've grown so comfortable in. Your rise terrifies them, not because it's unexpected, but because it's unstoppable. Chosen one, let's cut to the truth. You were never meant to fit into their small, petty world. Your purpose, your journey, and your destiny were written far beyond the reach of their limited vision, and they know it. That's why their gossip, their slander, their desperate attempts to pull you down, they're nothing but noise. Hollow, meaningless, powerless noise. In a world that thrives on drama, you are the exception. You were chosen to rise above it, to transcend the petty games they play and the shallow narratives they spin. They see your progress, and it burns them. Not because you've wronged them, but because your light shines too brightly on everything they lack. You are the mirror they can't escape, reflecting their insecurities and fears back at them with every step you take. They'll never admit it, but their words aren't weapons, they're shields. They gossip about you to distract from the truth they can't face, that while they're stuck in the same cycles, you've broken free. You've climbed heights they can't even fathom, and instead of rising with you, they cling to the only thing they know: pettiness. It's not a fierce attack. It's a weak, desperate cry for relevance in a world that has already left them behind. Their hate doesn't stem from your flaws. It stems from their limitations. While they clutch at gossip like a lifeline, you've stepped into your power, building a life they can only dream of. Every rumor they spread, every whisper behind your back, is a silent confession of their own inadequacy. They try to project their failures onto you, hoping to dull your shine. But they don't understand that your light doesn't come from them. It comes from something greater, something divine. Here's what they fail to grasp. You're untouchable. Their words can't break you because your foundation isn't built on their approval. It's built on authenticity, ambition, and the divine protection that surrounds those who are truly chosen. You don't rise because they allow it. You rise because you were meant to. That's why their efforts to drag you down feel so futile. Because they are. Every step you take forward widens the chasm between you and them. They can feel it, and it terrifies them. They know they can't reach you, so instead, they try to pull you into the mud. But you're not just walking on solid ground. You're soaring. You've broken free from their world, and every move you make reminds them of how small they've chosen to stay. And let's be honest, they're not just watching, they're studying you, obsessing over your every action, dissecting your every decision, hoping to find a crack in your armor. But here's the truth they can't handle. You're not just strong, you're untouchable. Their envy isn't power, it's weakness disguised as noise. And the more they talk, the more they reveal their own insecurities. Their attempts to control the narrative are laughable. While they're busy spinning stories, you're out here living your truth, building something real, something powerful. Their words are like raindrops on a raging fire, pointless. They can't douse your light, and deep down, they know it. That's why they've resorted to the shadows, whispering to anyone who will listen, hoping to stay relevant in a story that's no longer theirs to tell. But, chosen one, your journey isn't just about you. You are a beacon, a light cutting through the noise, showing others that it's possible to break free. Your authenticity, your resilience, your refusal to engage in their games. It's a powerful example for those who feel trapped by similar negativity. You've shown that their hate is not a prison. It's a reflection of their own limitations. And when you rise, you give others permission to do the same. Their words can't touch your destiny. Your narrative has already been rewritten, elevated beyond their reach. Every step forward you take makes their voices smaller and smaller, until all that's left is silence. And in that silence, they're forced to confront the truth. You've risen above them, and they'll never catch up. Let their gossip be the soundtrack to your victory. Let their envy fuel your fire. Because the more they try to diminish you, the more they highlight your greatness. Your light blinds their shadows, and no matter how hard they try, they can't escape the truth. You've won. Keep moving forward, chosen one. Keep building, thriving, and breaking every limit they tried to place on you. Your success isn't just personal. It's proof that their noise is powerless against the force of authenticity and divine purpose. Every step you take is a reminder that true power lies not in their words, but in your actions, your resilience, and your unwavering faith in your destiny. And as you continue to rise, remember this: their hate is not a reflection of your flaws. It's a spotlight on their fears. You were chosen to rise above the noise, and nothing they say can change that. Keep shining, because your light is far too bright for their small, petty world. Let them watch, let them talk, let them struggle to keep up. You're already miles ahead, thriving in a space they'll never reach. Their noise is nothing, and you are everything. And that, chosen one, is why you are unstoppable. Their words, their whispers, and their petty attempts to tear you down are nothing but background noise to the symphony of your greatness. You were chosen to rise, to thrive, and to shatter every limit they tried to place on you. Let their envy be the wind beneath your wings as you soar even higher. If this message resonated with you, Don't keep it to yourself. Smash that like button, hit subscribe, and drop 77 in the comments to declare your strength. Share this with someone who needs the reminder. Keep rising. You've already won.